Ay. Otra vez. Come here. Let me say something. I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, those precious memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. I remember Tampa, and she remembers me. Yeah. She remembers me.
Welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the fastest 60 minutes in cable broadcast history. Live from the studios at TBCN, the home of the Tampa Native Show. Join your hosts, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Cannella, as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Cannella.
She remembers me.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to this, your Thursday night edition of the Tampa Native Show. As always, seated next to my broadcast partners, Tampa Steve and the 15-Minute Girl, also known as Steve Cannella and Sally Nunez. I'm Mario Nunez, welcoming you back once again to this, your Thursday night, 7 o'clock edition of the Tampa Native Show. Special show planned for you this evening. Mr. Robin Sibucao is in studio, as we promised last week, Steve.
We sure did. Keep our promises.
Because, yeah, we are promise keepers here at the Tampa Native Show. He was in studio with us last week with Miss Jean Morris, and what a tremendous show that was.
Yes.
We hope you guys got a chance to watch, and if not, it's always in our archives, so feel free after the show to go check that out. But tonight, Robin's going to be with us, and he's going to tell us all about his amazing career, some things you may not have known about him, and we've been bragging on him pretty good the last couple of weeks, so get ready for that. We'll take your phone calls in just a little bit. Stevie, how was your week?
My week was, it was great, but I came down with a laryngitis where I couldn't even speak on the weekend. I went to Starbucks to order a coffee, and I couldn't even order. I had to write it down on a note.
Abuela used to call that the gripe, and you got it, and then somehow and through a phone conversation
through the phone, I think, right?
with Steve, I got it, and as luck would have it, Robin was coming in tonight and bringing us his guitar, and he was going to sing us a couple of songs, and Robin, he didn't have it with him as he walked in the studio. I said, Robbie, where's your guitar? I said, man, I can't sing. I'm a little hoarse. I said, you got it too.
I don't want it. I really don't want it.
We all got the grip.
Don't breathe on me.
You're right in the middle, too.
Yeah, man. I don't know how it goes. But anyway, so for those of you that may not know, it feels like we've got a Brillo pad lodged somewhere between here and there. And for those of you that are too young, imagine a wire brush scraping the inside of your throat.
I remember those.
We've got our emergency Ricolas here on set with us. So if we've got to pop one, you know, mala suerte, that's how we're going to do it tonight. And that's how we roll on live TV, the Tampa Native Show. Okay, Stevie, real quick, let me get a couple of things out of the way before we get going. Okay, much to do. Stevie, Florida State Fair?
Florida State Fair.
Over.
Done.
Sochi Games? Ending. And oh, by the way, they've been very lackluster this year. Okay?
You're right.
And listen,
nothing much is going right.
Snowboarding, half pipe, that thing with that Sean, the redheaded guy, Sean White. We invented the sport. Snowboarding, half pipe. We didn't win one medal this year. Okay?
Oh, no, that's not good.
Men's speed skating. No, we didn't win any medals there either. And figure skating. First time since 1936 we come away without any medals. Okay. So Sochi Games ending. Ray's spring training, Stevie? Ray's just getting started.
Starting pretty soon.
And tonight at 8 o'clock, immediately after the show tonight, we called One Buck Place and made them hold off on the announcement until 8 p.m. tonight. They're going to reveal a brand new Bucks logo on their helmet. Not the uniform, but their helmet's going to change. That's going to be revealed tonight at 8 o'clock. All right. Birthdays. We've got a birthday today, 15-Minute Girl.
Rahul Pandya's birthday is today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That's right, one of our sons, Rahul Pandya. Hools. Happy birthday, my brother.
My son from another mother.
There it is. Also, and kind of a little bit of the sad news, because you got the good and the bad. And the sad news, I don't know what's going on, Stevie, but
What's happening?
I don't know. We're just losing some people, and it's hard to explain, really and truthfully, because they're getting younger and younger. When you lose somebody that's lived a full life, that's in their 90s or in their 80s, hey, you got the full 9 innings. But 2 weeks ago, orthopedic surgeon, Tampa Native, Antonio Tony Castelvi, we lost him suddenly. And then Ricky Acosta lost his mom, and that was just last week. And then 2 days ago, Edward Scooby Bryant, a classmate of mine at Jefferson High School, class of 77, a year behind me, in his sleep. I don't know. I guess the moral of the story is, hey, man, take care of yourselves, okay? If you haven't been to the doctor for a while to get a checkup, please get a checkup.
And Mario,
and take care of yourselves.
It kind of
These are sad times.
Yeah, well, we talk about that a lot as far as losing Tampa natives, and we're losing those stories along with them.
Of course.
And that makes it more important for this. It's really a race against time with the show. And
Dr. Castelvi was 61 years young, and I would have expected him to have been here for a minute or two longer, because ultimately we would have gotten around to him. But then when we hear these stories that they're gone, it's like,
sad.
man, we don't get that chance back.
Very sad.
So please, that's our public service announcement. We love you guys, and we want you to take care of yourselves, okay? All right.
Yes, we do.
Happy breaking news in the happy category. Did I mention Robin Sibucao is here tonight?
Yay!
Jimmy Fallon has taken over the Tonight Show, and the Tampa Native Show, and that's a big one. And the Tampa Native Show, again, this year will be a presence at Festa Italiana. Mark your calendars. That's April the 6th, Sunday. We're going to have a tent, courtesy of Steve Cannella. Is going to bring out he's got a portable tent.
That's right.
And we're going to have brand new T-shirts that we're going to reveal that we're going to sell on that Sunday. So, if you're ready, Festa Italiana is right around the corner. La Unione. Say it for me, Stevie.
Italiana. L'Unione Italiana.
Easy for Stevie to say, because he's our resident Italian. Do a great job every year. What year is this, Stevie? This is like their 18th or 20th.
I'm not sure how many years they've been doing this, but this will be our second time.
Yes.
Participating in the
And
event.
you see everybody.
Everyone.
You sit in one area and everybody just
amazing.
kind of comes walking by. It's a great day for Tampa natives,
is.
and it's a great day for Tampa Italians for sure. So, mark your calendars. All right, let me think. The rest of this can wait until a little bit later on,
On with the show.
as they say in show business. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as the phone lines are already lighting up, we were going to ask you to hold off for just a couple of minutes, but that's okay. We understand these things happen. Let's just say this. The gentleman who was with us last week, Robin Sibucao, sat patiently by while we discussed Gene Morris's very full life. And we thought he was going to contribute more to the show, as we talked about it before we got on here. But he sat quietly by.
He's sitting right there.
And I promise, I said, Robbie, we're going to bring you back next week, and it's going to be your time. So without further ado, if you'll, Becky, go to that 4-shot, let's bring Robin in. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Robin Sibucao.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Thanks for having me back.
Of course, man. Tell everybody how long it took you to get here.
Well, it was a wonderful drive from St. Petersburg. When I left, I had a flat top and was clean shaven. It took about almost 2 hours to get here with the traffic these days.
What's
Is that crazy?
To our
It is
traffic?
crazy.
I used to get from East Tampa to Moss Brothers in 8 minutes.
Yep.
Wow.
What happened?
Yep.
What happened?
That's a good question. We talk about that all the time.
And on the drive in today from the studio, when we got off at 275, Steve, Fowler from 22nd
far as you can
Street,
see.
from 22nd Street all the way to the
Excellent.
interstate was
It was
bumper to
amazing.
Bumper to bumper.
So, we talk about it here on the Tampa Native Show all the time.
many
What has
people's
happened to
here.
our little town? Rob, how you been, man?
I've been great, man, and thanks again for last week. I think that was just a wonderful thing you guys did with Jean. She needed to be recognized here. I mean, what a treasure from Tampa.
And she did a great
Absolutely,
job,
yeah.
too.
She
was wonderful.
did.
She was wonderful.
You brought us that story, and we're eternally
She didn't
grateful
miss a
for that.
step.
Well, you mentioned it to us, and we talked about it last week on the show. For those of you that weren't here with us, there was an occasion where Jean went into WFLA. Rob, you mentioned that because I believe you were with her. Is that correct?
No, I was not with her.
Okay. Well, she went into WFLA studios. Mentioned the fact that she was one of the early, if not pioneering, females to broadcast, produce at WFLA studios, and she wanted to see if they had any of her archived footage or
She actually just wanted to see anybody.
Wow.
She wanted to say hello. I'm back,
Right.
hello.
Yeah, understandable.
And they snubbed her.
And tell her story.
And they basically told her, you know what, that's nice, lady. Who are you again?
Yeah, who are you? We don't know who you are. Have a good day.
Well, their loss was our gain because we had her last week for 90 minutes all to ourselves. We promised her we'd bring her back, and we will. maybe with one of her former colleagues, Arch Deal, the next time,
That'd
so
be
we can
fun.
have an amazing conversation
fun.
and let them just relive and
That'll be a blast.
reminisce.
They will.
But tonight, Robbie, is all your night, Papa. And, you know,
Well, let me tell you, it's going to be really exciting. We may be over in 10 minutes, but
No. We've got
way.
30 photographs to go through, and which is a lot to absorb in one evening, and especially with 30 minutes, with 60 minutes. And so we're going to try to get through most of them. But if not, Rob's already promised us he's going to come back and
Part two.
and finish up clean. And we're going to take your phone calls in just a few minutes. But let's start at the beginning, man. Sibucao, what's that all about? Let's go. Give us the history.
well, my family, my grandparents moved here from Spain by way of Cuba, of course, and that was the Miguel family. We have picture number 1 if you want to show a picture.
Picture
this
number
time.
1, of course. Let's go picture in picture, and we'll show picture number 1. And the Miguel family from España and Cuba.
Yes.
That was the migration for so
So
many
everybody,
of us.
how many people do you meet here in Tampa that's where they came from?
If they're natives, that's pretty much, unless they came from Sicily, Steve?
Yeah.
And then they probably just came from Santo Stefano, correct?
Santo Stefano or Chinchana.
Or Chinchana.
That's right. Or Alessandria de la Roca.
There you go.
Now,
those
the
three.
other thing is a lot of people will tell you they made that trip, but they really didn't make the trip through Cuba to get here. They went some other way. But that's generally how most of our
Correct.
families got here. So that's how my family got here. My father was from the Philippines, but we don't really have a lot of pictures of that. We may have some wicker furniture
can
we
you-
can throw up.
Can you talk a little bit about the...
This is my abuela and abuela with my mother and the family. As you can see, it was a big family.
Yes.
Got here. He came here for the cigar factory. He came here to work in Ybor City.
Opportunity being what it was.
That's exactly it. So they settled out in East Tampa. They weren't in the West Tampa area. We were way, way out before there was a East Tampa, if you will, in farming as well as at working the cigar plant. But the family stayed here. Everybody was here. There's not a lot of them left at this point, but that's how it all started here in Tampa.
So your mom was a Miguel, she married Sibucao, and that's how you became Sibucao.
That's exactly right.
Got you.
Great photo.
And you know, interesting because when we first met, and we met a couple, 3 years ago now, maybe 3.5 years ago, Angelo Cook, who was our neighbor
Yes.
in Tampa, lived 2 doors down from us. He and Penny were playing out at the beach, and that's where we came to meet you the first time.
Yeah.
And you know, we were Sally and I were both taking, you know, hey, what a nice guy, man, what a, you know, genuine, nice individual. And
It's not the like.
Exactly, exactly. And we talked about you all the way home.
And humble, too.
And then, yeah, you know, and then it came to pass that, you know, you're this other guy who
Yeah.
plays with this band who is a Tampa native, and then he's talking about he has an abuela, but wait a minute, he's a Chino, but what's going
Yeah,
on?
right.
He's Filipino, you know?
Right.
Great, and that just goes to show you how the 6 degrees of separation,
Right.
Stevie, I don't think so, brother.
You know, in talking before the show started, we were talking about how we all went fishing. We all did the same thing.
Yes.
In different areas of Tampa.
Yes.
East Tampa, West Tampa.
When you
Central
could
Tampa.
do those things.
Exactly.
When it was safe.
Exactly.
So, growing up in East Tampa, what elementary school and junior high and high school did you
Went
go
to Cannella Elementary.
Yes.
Cannella Elementary. I was obviously the only, what we call a Spanapino.
Yes,
It was
yes.
in the
It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid in the school board.
I don't believe you'll find them at the WKC.
Not exactly.
Westminster Kennel Club.
There, and then I went to Franklin Junior High School. So,
Okay,
you know,
sure.
back in those days, it wasn't far apart. I think they were
No.
2
Yeah.
miles in each direction
Absolutely.
from where we actually lived. I could actually walk, but
Yes.
I wouldn't do that. Why would I
Franklin's
bother to
still
walk?
there currently, and on that same magnificent piece of property, it's a huge,
So is Kinley.
beautiful school.
Kinley's
Yep.
still out there.
Yep.
Same thing. But it was a little different area than, you know, a lot of us talk about West Tampa all the time or Ybor City. We migrated, of course, all the time back and forth because Ybor City was downtown for us. That's where we went, from East Tampa.
Yeah.
But we were really out there. So it's a little different growing up in East Tampa than it was in West Tampa. A little bit different, a little more farmland, a little
I
more
would say.
pickup trucks
Yep.
out in that area.
Yep.
And I love it, but that's where I came from.
Brothers and sisters?
Have one sister, and she lives near East Tampa. She's out in Brandon now. She's been there ever since, never left Tampa. Smart. She's the smarter of the two. She was always a smart one. I had to follow her in school. I didn't like that part.
And by the time you got to high school, since you were in East Tampa, it was either going to be, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe Tampa Bay Tech. If you were too far west to go to Brandon, maybe King High School?
King High School is it exactly. It was still a new school at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We still had a wonderful football team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we won a game. King won a team.
But you had a hell of a
35.
band. You must have had a hell of a
They
band.
had a good band.
Yeah.
Good band. As a matter of fact, they went to the World's Fair in '64.
Nice.
King represented Tampa.
That's
I think
impressive.
it was-
There's your
maybe-
first bell ringing
Maybe
in.
wrong on the
Nice.
year, but I think it was '64 that King High School went to
know
the
that.
Wow.
Seattle World's Fair.
Very good.
nice. Yeah.
Were you a part of that?
Are you kidding? I was
Okay.
little then. It's
All right. Well, but
64.
look in the pictures that we've
when you're
seen.
little.
You were always been little.
Yeah,
You
right.
know. Apparently, you started playing music professionally
Age
when
one.
you were about 7. You know, I don't even know how you reached the frets, But we're gonna
Very young, very young.
We're gonna talk about that in just a few minutes, and that's what gave you. What did give you your love of music? How did the guitar get in your hands?
You know, it was perfect timing. We talked about this last week. You know, this was the time, it was the period that Elvis was big.
There you go.
There were a lot of acts coming to Tampa to Clearwater Star Spectacular, where a good friend of mine, and you know him too, Rodney Justo.
Hopefully he's watching tonight.
Oh, I know he's watching. He's watching. But you know, music was happening at that time. It was a lot of fun, and I actually had a cousin that came over. Linda Thomas with her now husband, Robert Thomas, and he played guitar in our living room. And I went, I got to do that. I just got to learn how to do that. So, you know, my parents were great parents. They got me a little guitar, and they got me lessons, and whew, was that a drag. I didn't enjoy playing Red River Valley and Sailor's Hornpipe. And, you know, I was like, can I just play a couple songs? So I would watch different guitar players play chords. And if you remember, there used to be the Ozzie and Harriet show, and at the end of that, Ricky Nelson would play a song.
Absolutely.
So, you know, you couldn't rewind back in those days. You couldn't record.
Pay attention, son.
Yeah, so you get in front of the TV and you were focused. You kind of watch this guy's hand. You say, okay, I think I can do that. And you go back to your room and you try to memorize and see if you could play. And that's how I started playing.
Wow.
And I just kept doing that for a while. And finally, I met a friend of mine named Lou Facinda, and Lou's very well known around Tampa. He's been an engineer at Q105 since they were Q1. I mean, he's been there forever. He's a great drummer. And him and I played, we got together, a drummer and a guitar player.
There's a photograph
There's
of
a photograph. It's,
want to call for that?
Yeah, I'll call that one up. That's the next one that's on the list here. It says number 2, I believe.
And I thought this was amazing because it is just a drummer and a guitar player.
And if you notice, there's no amplifier or wires, so it must have been very quiet.
Yes.
This was at Reagan's Park. This is the first job that we ever played. And when I say job, there was no pay involved. Back at that time, if you had a band or you thought you wanted a band, if somebody just gave you a platform that you could put your equipment up and play, you were just thrilled.
You had a gig?
And by the way, so is everybody else, because nobody saw live music.
Right.
Especially our age, not the younger kids, teenagers.
Yeah.
Come on,
They
man.
couldn't go to nightclubs. They couldn't go see a band. So if you played, it was, hey, that's pretty cool. So Lou Facinda and I started with our little Starlighters band, and actually that wasn't the name of the band. That was actually on the bass drum when he bought that. So we just said, okay, it's on there. We're the Starlighters.
Amazing.
So
that's a great
story. We played
story.
for a while that way, and we kept trying to do things. Neither one of us thought we could sing, so we just played venture songs and
Without vocals.
without vocals. And without the melody, we just play chords. And
Yes.
we play drums, and we go,
Oh, wow.
sounds close, right? And so we got to play a little bit, and we had some fun. And then we got a call from a real band, which is the next one, number 3, that comes up.
Photo number 3.
This was a band called the Paragons.
Oh, yeah.
And the Paragons went through many stages.
Yes.
Sure.
But as you can see there, we were very young. Remember now, the Beatles weren't out yet. So we were still reading music off of music stands. That's what those black pieces of wood are there with the key on them. So we had one amplifier, and for all of you guys that played at the same time I did, you'll remember you had one amplifier, no PA. And you put the guitars, the microphones, and in our case, an accordion. We had a guy named Mike Wainwright who played accordion, played great. He played through one amplifier. And you know, people had the audacity to tell us to turn down.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
kidding.
one amp. It was about this big, you know, and it was like, that's how you played. So that was our first band. I think at that point, in that picture, I'm about 11.
Wow.
11 years old in that. And we played a lot of the recreation centers, and that was terrific. That was really good thing, a good time
You play for your
Tampa.
buddies. You play for all the kids in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And in the other neighborhoods.
That's probably where I saw the Paragons, was it?
Could be.
Yeah.
Rec centers?
Yeah.
Probably Inner Bay Recreation Center?
Ballast Point.
Ballast Point. There you go. That was Ballast Point, Inner Bay, Seminole, Forest Hills, Temple Terrace, Gary, Lutz,
You hit them all, brother?
Thenota Sassa.
How'd you get there? Dad took you? Mom
Dad
took you?
drove you. Sure.
cool.
Station wagon? Put the drums in the back of the station wagon?
Yeah.
Now, there was a point somewhere down the road where I remember Lou, the drummer I was talking about. Neither one of us had a driver's license. We drove anyway. We loaded our stuff.
You could do
Somebody
it
You
back
could do that in
then.
Tampa back in the day.
Not
He had a
now.
57 Chevy.
Yeah.
We put our stuff in the back. We go to the job and have a great time.
And if you got stopped, chances are
You got
Manny
some home.
DeCastro stopped you because you know Manny was everywhere,
That's right.
and he'd just tell you, "Hey,
Get back in the
your
car.
I know your mother, I know your
home.
father. You better get home before I have to call
That's
him."
exactly right.
Isn't that amazing?
Those are the
Great,
days.
great
Old
times.
days.
Well, all I can say is that Rob, as the story begins to reveal itself, and we've got to take this caller because it's been blinking now for about 10 minutes, and we'll get to that. As the story continues to reveal itself, Suffice it to say, you were a rock and roll star before your voice changed, my brother. You know what I mean? Before you were shaving.
That wasn't even a term yet.
Right.
Rock star, right?
No, yeah, we didn't even know what that was. But whatever that was, you were it.
I wanted to be it.
Of course.
I wanted to be it.
All right, let's take this. I know who's on the call. Let's go to our caller real quick, and we'll come back to the pictures. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi guys, this is Skipper from Seminole.
There he is,
Right.
leading things off. How are you, Skipper?
Yeah, it's going to be a great show tonight. With Robin there, because the majority of the guys that were in the Paragons were a group of guys that hung out, played baseball, went to school with me back in the day, and
There you go.
we're real close friends. Grew up playing baseball and going to school with Mike Wainwright.
There you go.
Steve Bogart went to Sly, then he went to King when they opened up King, and then there was Roy Nolan and Jack Sigler, Bill Orr, which became the principal, Dr. Orr became the principal of Hillsborough.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Jack Fayoya. But Steve Bogart, Mike Wainwright, Roy Nolan, those guys grew up, went to school with, played ball, did all kinds of stuff with. And it really brings back some great memories of the Paragons. I don't know if Robin knows it, that Mike has a sandwich shop up in Palm Harbor called Harvey's on US 19 close to Nebraska. And he's doing really well and having a good time of it.
You know, thanks for sharing that. I just heard that about a year ago, I think. I just heard that because I just moved back to Tampa. I was kind of out of here for a while. But, yeah, thanks for sharing that with us. And if you see Mike, please tell him I said hello. He's a great guy. I had a lot of fun with him.
Yeah, he was still doing stuff, doing a little entertaining until about 8-10 years ago, and decided that was it. He was done carrying the amps around and doing all the stuff. So, and then Steve Bogart went on to be a pretty famous songwriter up in Nashville.
I think it's 9 #1 hits that he's had.
Yeah, they just posted that today, Skipper. Somebody posted that today. Your buddy Lewis?
Oh, Larry.
Larry.
Yes.
Larry Lewis posted that Mr. Bogart's up there in Nashville, and he's big time.
Impressive.
I think Steve is actually the president of the National Songwriters Association. Like, he's the dude. He's the guy.
Dude.
Wow. And
we should get the dude on the show.
yeah, we should get the dude from the other dude and get him on the show because that would be a tremendous show.
Amazing.
Well, if he ever comes to town, Skipper, are you still in contact with any of these guys?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Put the
well,
word
Skipper,
out.
we'll call you back when we get off the air. We'll talk a little bit more about that because we're just lining up our shows from here to the end of the year, and we would love to have these guys come in if they're available. With enough notice, maybe we can get them on the show.
Yeah, we can try to get them in town. And I'll let Robert go on, but there's a lot of stuff the Paragons, and then I mean that was amazing. The Seminole Heights Rec Center was a
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I think the lady's name was Mrs. Denton. That used
I'm
to.
Denton's mother. Yeah.
She used to run
See?
that. Is that right? What a memory.
Yep.
And I just got
Yeah,
my
there was a couple
AARP card.
I can't remember their name, but there was a couple, I think, that ran each one of the
Yes.
recreation centers.
Yeah, it was mom and pop stuff.
Yeah.
You had to
was.
hand it to them. I mean, that was a lot of responsibility. They
very
did it out of the
sweet.
goodness of their
Yeah.
hearts.
Yes.
So, yes, I remember
Yeah.
her.
That's fun.
Skipper, and here's a little tidbit for you. I know you know this because you're a baseball guy. Former Atlanta Braves pitcher, accordion virtuoso. Can you name him?
Accordion virtuoso?
Squeeze box.
I had no idea.
John Smoltz.
Oh,
Really?
No way.
Not only could he give you
That's
98 at the knees,
That's
but he
amazing.
was, as a kid, his family was musical, and he learned to play the accordion as a kid. John Smoltz, 6'3", 220 pounds, 98 miles an hour at the knees, and played the squeeze box for you. All right,
that's good.
you heard it
That's
here
interesting.
first, Skipper.
All right, put our bulletin number.
We got him
I
down
got
already.
him.
Thanks for calling.
Skipper, thank you.
Good job, Robin.
Take care.
Thanks.
Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's Joe Abini. Joe Abini, class of 66, Hillsborough High School.
Great
Wonderful,
call.
wonderful. One of our longtime fans.
Oh,
and
from the
always
beginning.
calls. All
There
right,
were
Rob,
more
pick up the story.
accordion
Pick up the story.
players when we
Let's
were
go to number
young,
4
too, than
picture.
there are now.
Picture number 4.
This has got a great story if it's the picture I'm thinking. Okay.
There we go.
Here is a good picture
I
of the
can't find you in
Paragons.
that photo.
Yeah.
I can't find
You
you.
can see that Mike Wainwright, who Skipper was talking about, was the accordion player on the right. Him and I had a height contest going on. I think he was 1 year older than me. I think I was 12 and he was 13 at the time.
Unbelievable.
Cool thing about this picture was we didn't have any dough. We couldn't take a publicity picture. So somebody's father, and I can't remember who it was, might have been Mike's pop, had something to do with the Tampa Police Department. So after we got through playing a rec center one night, we got in our parents' car. They drove us to the police station.
On Tampa
That's
Street?
a police shot right there.
The mugshot.
With the bull. Pow!
great.
And there we were.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Great story.
So that's a great story right there.
It
And
is.
again, this was the whole period of time before there were the Beatles, there was no
Yeah.
British invasion, there was just, we were
Having fun.
doing Bobby Rydell songs
And to have put and Bobby Vin and to have put it in you know, if you could have thought this through, if you could have thought it through, man, how cool would it have been for that picture to have been taken in a lineup, man, with the height numbers behind you and all of you, you know what I mean?
They wouldn't have had the 2 foot for me and Mike, though.
It's still an outstanding photo, though.
That's fantastic.
Those are really cool band costumes, though, weren't they?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking you look like you could have been busboys at the Columbia.
I think
On
we
the
could have. We
weekend?
would have made more money, that's
I
for
like
sure.
the ties. The ties
By the way,
are
back
fun.
then when we used to play, and all the guys that played in bands, you guys will know this, we used to get paid $40 for playing the rec center.
Wow.
And
$40.
if there was 4 guys in the band, 6
Oh
guys,
my
8 guys in the band,
gosh,
right? And you would
$40?
first of all, you take money out for the band fund.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
And so you do that. You have a little equipment thing. You put some money aside for it. You get your check for like $4.60 or
Oh,
something.
no.
And you go to Bose and get an ice cream right away.
Yeah, you were so excited.
You were
Yeah.
cool, and that's what matters.
That's,
I got paid to play this guitar,
That's
right? So
right.
that was
That's
it.
right.
So.
Unbelievable.
That's great.
Well, then we moved into photograph the next one up here, which is number 4B. Yeah, the Beatles hit.
Did they ever?
Now,
There's George Harrison there.
we were
There's George
scared.
Harrison,
We were
the tall
scared
guy.
to death to grow our hair. We couldn't grow our hair that fast, so we bought Beatle wigs. And that was actually my
great.
pop. That's my dad right there. Again with Lou Facenda, who was a drummer with me for many years through the Paragon,
Good
Chesters,
buddies.
and Southern Comfort, and first Beatle album. And
Cool
we
suits, too.
those were really cool.
Yeah.
I wish
Yes,
I
they
had
were.
that. Well, I could only put it on my hand now. Do a hand puppet
They were cool.
show with those, but. At that point, we saw the Beatles. We knew we wanted to be the Beatles, but the band still kind of did a little Beatle medley. But we kind of did it tongue in cheek, like we'll put on these Beatle wigs. You know, we don't know if they're going to stick around.
Nobody knew.
we'll pick up the slack.
We found that out
Yeah.
with the interview last week, huh?
Yeah.
Because
That's right.
nobody really kind of,
Yeah.
No.
you know, everybody
They
that flash
just
in the
thought
pan,
they
flash
were
in the pan.
4 young
Have
lads.
mercy.
Just thought it was
Have
another
mercy.
group. Yeah.
Hey, we've got another caller here. We probably should go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what? I really enjoy the fact too in seeing that picture, the fact that your pop was right there with you,
Yeah.
because a lot of love, a lot of support. I'm guessing that you know.
There were a lot of parents back in the day because we weren't old enough to drive.
Yeah.
And our parents got to be friends with some of the other bands' parents because we'd meet up someplace. We'd be playing the same recreation center or the Spot or some of these
Yeah.
other places. So
It's fantastic.
special time.
It was a
Special
special
time.
time.
Have
for
mercy.
sure.
Good memories for sure.
Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Larry Cox. I'm calling from Lutz.
There he is.
Hey,
Hey,
Larry.
Larry. Larry from Lutz. I like the way that sounds. Larry from Lutz.
Has a ring to it.
Larry Cox from Lutz, what say you?
Well, just wanted to call in and say hello to Robin.
There he is.
Hi, Larry.
Yep, we went to high school together.
There you go.
I used to go to Robin's house.
Oh my goodness,
There you
Larry.
go. There it is.
That Larry.
Ring that bell a couple times.
Look right into the camera
How
there and
are
say
ya?
hello.
We used to go to his house and listen to music. I loved his mom and dad. They were great people. We had, I remember his sister. We'd go over and, Rita was always around there, but we had a great time. And we lived near. And Robin was in some of my classes, and he actually came to my house a couple times, and we did some kind of skit or play or something we had to do at school.
I think I remember that, yes.
I moved away for a while and, was out of town, so we lost contact. But it's not been that long, has it, Robin? It's like
No, it hasn't been long at all, has it? That's kind
by
of crazy
quick.
when you think about how long ago it really was. And
Yeah.
where do you live now? Are you in Tampa now?
Yeah, I live in Lutz now.
Oh, okay. That's right. Larry from Lutz.
Yeah, well, I grew up there in East Tampa, and I've called in a few times. And you remember called in when we had the old car deal?
Absolutely. No, Larry.
I
no,
remember your name.
Your
That's
name, when you called the last time, when we had your first car show, I was thrown back. I was like, Larry, is this your first time calling? Remember, I was about to hit that bell on you, and then you stopped me. You said, no, I've called before. You can't sneak it in on us now, man. Larry from Lutz.
Yeah.
We got you.
And we talked once before.
We did, exactly.
East, the places that weren't around anymore.
Yes, sir.
And I called in. I said, well, look, nobody's called in about East Tampa, and I bet Robin will remember this place, White's Drive-In.
Sure.
It was right there on the corner of
50th Street and 7th Avenue.
Yep.
It had the old ice-cold root beer in the frosty mugs.
It's called a root beer whip.
Yeah.
Root beer whip.
Yes.
Larry, you know what might be a good show? I'm just going to throw this out there for your consideration. At some point, maybe towards the late summer, fall, we'll maybe set up a round table, man, and bring you in, and Robin can be here, and maybe we can dig up one more East Tampa native, and we'll just have a nice round table discussion. Because what we'd like to try to do is you know, arguably
Cover
a
all
lot
the
of our
neighborhoods.
stories, the epicenter to our Tampa native story is really Ybor City and West Tampa and South Tampa to an extent.
A little
But
bit.
we don't want to overlook East Tampa and the experience that you and Robin had growing up, or Seminole Heights, or Port Tampa, or you know, the town and country area when it was brand new and just starting out. So, and Brandon certainly.
Yeah.
So just give that some thought. Maybe we'll just meet you for a coffee and we'll have a good time.
Larry, how could anybody miss Sweetheart Skating Rink?
Oh, yeah.
That's where it was.
It was in East Tampa.
Somebody put a picture up of that not
Yes.
too long ago.
Yes.
How
With the
cool.
wooden floors, and the wood would just be worn out.
Yeah, all the
You know,
wooden
the
floors.
Cesarios own Sweetheart Skating Rink, if you remember, Larry, and Benji Cesario and I played in one form of the Jesters and then played in a million bands after that together, and I still see Benji. And he told me that his father kept the same prices from like the 50s until 1981 or something.
Wow.
Amazing.
The same prices. And he used to say, Dad, come on, you can raise the prices now. And his dad
Skate
said,
rental and
Nope, that's what it is, whatever it was. 75 cents to come in, get your skate for 3 hours and go home.
Amazing.
That place was there in the 50s because I think my mom and dad actually went there because my mom and dad are both Tampa natives as well.
there you go.
Yep.
My grandparents are Florida natives. They were right here, so, But yeah, there's a lot of places that were like that, Sweethearts, that are no longer there.
Yep, mine's
Yeah.
And we
gone.
miss them, Larry, don't we? We miss
sure
We had
them.
a lot of roller skating rinks. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Roller skating was one of the things that we had to
Yeah.
do. It was
Mine
one.
was
It
outdoors.
was one of our recreations, man. And the boys' clubs
And bowling alleys.
And bowling alleys went right along with the roller skating rinks.
I couldn't afford to do any of them.
He had his guitar though, man. He had his guitar and he was pretty cool. I'm going to be honest with you. He was very cool back in the day. Hey, Larry, can we get your Bolita number?
Yeah, number 8.
Number 8 for Larry from Lutz.
easy.
Hey, man, thanks so much for calling. I know Robin, at first he wasn't quite sure, but then it all clicked, man.
Yeah, I remember. Now, Larry, great to hear from you. Thanks for calling, and I hope we get a chance to talk again.
Well, it's great to see you. You look great, and we'll be in contact. Somehow I'll get a hold of you.
That sounds great. Let's make sure we do.
Larry, just make sure you look in on us because wherever Cuckoo Cuckoo's going to be the next time, we'll make sure to announce it here on the show so that way you can come out and see him play, man. That's a
great.
good time.
That would be great. Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
Thanks, Larry.
Yes.
Bye, Larry. Thank you.
What a great call.
Huh?
Fantastic.
Now we're
Yeah.
off and running.
Fantastic.
Now we're
It's
off.
almost like this is your
Warm and
life.
tingly.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I get to play Army Archer just about every other week, man. All right, let's keep rolling, man, through the
So
pictures.
let's see. Let's move to the next picture here. I guess it's without my glasses. I think we're 4C.
Hey, Papa, you need some glasses?
Oh yeah. Oh, this is still the Paragons. This is actually this is from Lutz. So funny that Larry just called. This was Lutz Recreation Center. That was probably the only thing that was
I
in
was
Lutz.
just going to say, back then, there was nothing in Lutz.
That was a pretty big deal to have a band come in and set up
Yes.
there. So that was.
Even if they were little kids? Even if they were kids?
Oh yeah, it didn't matter if you had a band. You were
cool.
you were the guy, right?
That's right.
Anyway, that's a good shot. That's Steve Bogart, who we were talking about earlier in the middle, singing, and some little munchkin guy in the back with a Hofner guitar on the right.
Is that a saxophone? Because I'm looking at
Two
it from-
saxophones.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
2 saxophones.
That
And
is sound
How about that, man?
And that's back when bands were doing steps.
Yeah.
So we were out there
Yeah.
in front doing some steps. trying to
Tower
figure out-
Power. Before Tower Power.
Oh yeah, we thought we were cool.
Yeah.
You were cool, man.
We
Come
thought
on.
we were cool. I thought they ran the crepe paper a little low there, coming to think
Yes.
of it. But
Yes,
that's
they
okay.
did.
They were trying to keep you reined in.
Okay, you go to the next one.
I like this.
Okay.
Adjusters.
Now,
Again, I can't
don't
pick
care.
you out.
I don't care what I do in my music career. This is the band that everybody seems to remember the Jesters for.
Yep.
And this was the band that played on High Time a lot. Even though I did play on High Time with the Paragons, we played a lot of recreation centers. We played the Spot, the Hideaway, all the places that were around at the time. And that's, again, is Lou Facenda on drums, and that's his brother Tony Facenda.
On the bass?
Is playing bass. Now, I was 13 years old, and Tony was 24.
Wow.
And I thought, oh, he's an old dude.
Yeah, man. Married, kids,
Married.
what's going on?
He's like, he's hanging with my parents. Like, should he be in the band with us? And we still get together. Matter of fact, we just had that group of Jesters 4, because there was a whole bunch of different Jester 4 members. We just had a reunion.
Oh, great.
And we got together. Bill Brown on the right lives up in Indiana. Drove all the way down. We got together, broke bread, made some yellow rice and chicken. Oh, man. Got together. And then we played a little bit, and we played only the songs that we remember from back then.
Oh, somebody should have been rolling tape on that.
Well, I don't know if they should have. It could have been a
happens
little
again-
scary, too.
If it happens again and you guys are in the same place at the same time, you have an open invitation to come in and reunite here on the set of the Tampa Native show, and we'll go ahead and record it into posterity. How about that?
That'd be awesome.
We can set up. Look, I mean, there's room here in the studio.
You think you could write a check for a little more than $40 now?
Probably.
Maybe 50.
We'll pass the hat. We'll get it done. Don't you worry. We got sponsors for that kind of stuff.
Well, to connect this week with last week, if you bring up the next picture here, there it is. That's WFLA Studios.
Yes,
for any
it
of
is.
you that remember.
Yep.
There it is. It was right down the street from a whole bunch of places. It was down from the Trib, also where you got your draft card.
Yes.
You remember that back around the corner there? And I think it was Ippolito's was the restaurant that was down the street there. But anyway, this is one of we got through playing the high time, came outside, took our photo out there. That was our band photo for the year. I also, if you notice, I decided that pants needed to be a lot higher than they normally should be in that shot.
You were setting the trend, that's all.
And either Rob hadn't hit his growth spurt yet, or the fire hydrants were awful tall.
I think it was a little bit of both. But that was WFLA. And again, we talked about this last week. So what would happen is our parents would drive us down there, and we'd play the show. And I think Gene said it was 4 o'clock, 4 to 5.
Sure.
By the time we got our stuff out of there, it was 5:30, quarter to 6. We had just enough time to drive to the rec center. So we'd go on Saturday to play whatever rec center we had just played. And that was a ball because the kids had just seen us on TV playing there. And they said, oh, here they are. We just saw them.
stars.
Come on,
They must be a pretty good band. Little did they know they had to put up with us for 4 more hours at the rec center. But that picture kind of sticks. I see that picture a lot of places that pop up on the internet from a whole bunch of saying, garage bands of Florida, whatever, because it kind of paints the picture.
Sure. So if correct me if I'm wrong, but on Monday mornings when you went to school, and you're 13, so man, you're like in the 7th grade, right? How many of the chicks wanted to sit next to you in first period math class? I mean, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, there's Robin. Robin's here, Robin. No?
No, and I was really hoping in math class that someone was sitting next to me.
Math was kind of tough.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That algebra 101.
I practiced my guitar like crazy, but the number thing escaped me. No, when we went back to school, we were just it was
part of
just
the
all,
neighborhood.
yeah, it was just part, all of us were the same,
'Cause
right?
the phenomenon
It was
of
so different then, too.
this whole envy thing that we have going on with celebrities and the whole Kardashian experience that we're doing now. That wasn't part of the deal back then. You were just a neighborhood
Regular
kid,
kids.
man.
Right.
Yeah, it was,
You had friends, and everybody was just
look
friends.
at Larry.
That's beautiful. I'm
we
so
just-
glad
we
Larry
just all,
called.
We just all hung out, and,
Yep.
and the musicians were that way too. We all knew each other from around because a lot of the bands were from the neighborhoods.
Right.
Rarely did you have somebody in your band that was from across town because you
Couldn't get there.
drive.
Couldn't get there. Rehearse.
So it was kind of your neighborhood. But
Yep.
eventually, you got to meet somebody over there, and you would talk, and you shared ideas about how you played and bands you liked. Again, it was a great time. It was a great time.
Rodney mentioned that too when he was with us on the show, that a lot of times band members would, they're interchangeable parts, in other words. Sometimes you would play with this group here, this is your home band.
Sure.
But then you had away games, where you'd
Yep.
go and you play another venue with another band. So as you got older as a teenager, you got transportation, you can get around.
Good. Who said that, Rodney?
Rodney. Is he out there watching? Am I trying to bait him to call
I
tonight?
think we're baiting him here a little bit.
All right.
I
Well, we'll throw the number out there right now. If that's the case, yeah, let's do that, Steve.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to do it with
That-
your
yeah.
raspy voice? Go ahead.
Okay, it's 977-6800. That's area code 813-977-6800. Please call in. We'd love to hear from you.
Operators are standing by.
Hey,
Damien's
sure.
standing by to take your call.
And if it's Rodney, it's 977-7432.
All right, so give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. And if you've got a question or a comment, if you're an old friend of Robin's and you'd just like to say hello, this is a good opportunity to call. Listen, man, I've got one of these in. How about you?
I need another
You
one.
might as
actually.
well. I mean, I'm trying not to smack it around and spit it out
Try
of
not
my
to
mouth.
breathe
So we don't hear
on
it.
me.
But the truth of the matter is, they get a little scratchy throat. All right, next picture.
Next picture is great because this shows you what kind of star I was. Free pony ride.
Nice.
That's great.
And you can't see it on the screen, I don't think, but some of the fun is looking at the prices of the cars at the time.
Yeah.
66 at $4,000,
There we go.
Wow.
$2,800. And it says something to the effect, WFLA high time, like obviously we must have been somebody.
Yeah, because you were going to be there.
Because we were nobody, but they wanted us to make
Yes.
us sound like we were somebody.
Yeah.
And I think this was it Superior?
Superior?
Pontiac?
Oh, I remember
Oh,
seeing
yes.
this
Yeah, we
on
talked
it.
about that recently.
Yes.
That was on Hillsborough Avenue?
Yes.
Hillsborough Avenue.
That was their grand opening.
Wow, look at that.
The grand opening.
Come on, man. You played grand openings and
Grand
whatnot.
opening.
and
Yeah,
so
you know, you
forth.
played that. You played malls, but they weren't indoor malls. It was like
No.
Northgate.
Yeah, Britain
Britain
Plaza.
Plaza. You would play something like that.
Were they at least buying you a malted or something after the show, man?
No,
You
we
know
got
what I mean?
paid. We got
There
paid.
you go.
$40.
And a
was a
funny
going
ride.
rate.
Always 40.
It was like, no, and musicians today, you'll agree with this, I think it's still $40.
That was the going rate, I
I don't
guess.
understand what happened, you know. But anyway, that kind of shows what the bands were doing. We would
Yeah.
play any place. They would say, "You want to play?"
Sure.
We go, "Sure, we'll play." We
Why
get to
not?
play. It wasn't like, oh, I don't know if that's good for us or whatever.
Or we're booked.
There wasn't
Have-
any of
have
that.
instrument, we'll
There
travel,
wasn't any of
brother.
that.
Because it was about we wanted to be in a
Better.
band.
Right.
We wanted to play
Yeah.
better. We wanted to keep
Yeah.
getting better when people see us.
It was
So-
practice for you, too.
Yes, it was.
We can't let you out of here tonight without talking about some of your professional career and what you did as after you migrated away from playing your playing days. But do you want to get are there any other pictures here that you absolutely, 20 minutes left, guys. Are there any
Well.
pictures that you absolutely want to, because we're going to bring you back.
Are there
right?
any close-ups of me?
Of course.
I'd like to have
Camera
that. No, I just wanted to share these pictures of, and especially for the other musicians that were playing the same era. If you remember that, how much fun it was to play the High Time show and to do the individual rec centers and just have your pals come out and watch you play. That's what it was all about, and that's what I was hoping to
Yeah.
Sure.
to get across there, especially with the pony rides. And pony ride was a lot of fun. I think
Yeah.
I got a discount on it because I was in the band.
And a free chicken sandwich. You know, I mean, whatever it took. Whatever it took.
We should migrate up to picture number, because I get asked about this one all the time, and I think it's number 16. And this is, yeah.
Oh, there's Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, people ask me,
Terry
they seem
Bollea.
to forget everybody else in the band and ask me who that guy was, right? And yeah, that was Terry. And by the way, Terry was a very good bass player, really good bass player, and a really nice guy. And we had a great band. It's called Coco. And that was probably the only time in my life that I played nightclubs. I think I maybe did a year and a half with Coco doing nightclubs. Good band. Most of the guys are still around town.
What were the nightclubs?
Courtroom. Over in
Okay.
Clearwater, we played Cheshire Cat in St. Petersburg. Let me think. Skips on Madeira Beach. That was a big one. That was the big hangout. Skips was great for the guys in the band that remember playing there. You played 7 nights.
Wow.
7 nights,
Wow.
5 hours, and on Sunday they had a matinee. You come in and play from 2 to 5. Remember this, guys?
Take a little break.
A little break and come back and play at night. Now,
Wow.
you got to remember, I was out in California and I was playing like 1 set. I came home, we played the first set, and they said, well, we got 4 more sets to do and 6 more nights. And I went, well, I won't be playing this job very long, right? Look at the time fly.
Yes. Speaking of time flying, we have only 15 minutes
Okay.
That 15-minute girl got
That's
us
amazing.
again.
That-
Wow.
And I'm glad you said that, because
Wow.
some people ask me all the time what the 15-minute girl means, so.
There it
I
is.
don't know
it is.
myself.
There it
actually.
is. She's responsible for keeping us on time. And when our technical director speaks into our earpiece and says, hey guys, 15 minutes to go, that kind of lets us know that, okay, if
Yeah.
we've got some business we've got to take care
Wrap
of,
it
we got to
up.
wrap it up. But to be honest with you, we're just getting started. Steve, I mean,
yeah, just
I'm
started.
looking at, if you can catch this in camera 2 or camera, my solo shot is a good one here. You want to bring that one up. But this is what we have here. This is what we have here on the set with us. And it kind of is our guide for the photographs that you're looking at home, and we call for them accordingly. We've probably shown just the top row. We got all this to go. And,
Well, let's get to calling.
and Robin hasn't even told us the story yet about how he got to work with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Bose.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know what that. You ever heard that name?
That sounds
Steve?
familiar.
You ever heard that name before?
I think I had a stereo called
Yeah,
Bose.
that's the Bose
Speakers.
speakers and the Bose audio. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah,
Robin, please.
for all of us that were musicians when we started out, we couldn't actually buy all of our equipment. We had to make a lot of our own stuff. So a lot of us would, we'd fiddle around with speaker cabinets, and we always did that as kids. So throughout my life I did that, and being in the music business, I ended up getting into selling sound systems. I really enjoyed designing sound systems and doing them. Started selling Bose speakers, because I'd always heard Bose were the best. So Bose had a professional division. So finally, Bose called me one day and said, "Could we like to come talk to you, find out what you're doing?" All right. Thought I was doing something wrong. Found out that I was selling a lot of Bose speakers. Got their attention. So in 1988, they asked me to come into Professional Products Group, which was a new division for them, because they were primarily, as we all know, they're a $2 billion company today, which is big for the audio business. They were primarily hi-fi, consumer hi-fi. But they wanted to get into that musician market, into the large venue market, things like that. So I got to get hired by somebody that I had respected as a kid in high school. Boy, you know, if you had Bose 901s, that was the speakers to have. So I went up, interviewed for the job, and got to stay in Tampa. So I traveled. I was a million-mile flyer. You would know what that means.
Yeah.
Very quickly, traveling around the country and internationally, learning how to, working with dealers that were selling it, so on and so on. A lot of funny stories there. I was one of the guys they handed this plastic thing to one time and said, "This is a clock radio." I went, "Yeah, I know it's a clock radio." They said, "Yeah, we're going to sell this, and you're going to sell this to hotels. And I know that clock radios, they sell for like $19 to $25. We're going to sell this for $350.
The Wave.
So you've seen a million times on TV,
the Bose Wave.
Bose Waves, about this big, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, okay, I got to sell this for $350, and everybody else is selling for $19. All right, I'll give it a whack. I'll give it a ride. It's Dr. Bose. So if you'll show slide number 18, I was very proud that I got to spend time there. I was there almost 12 years. Dr. Bose was just gracious. I learned a lot there. For those of you who don't know, he was a the reason I brought this picture is there's a better story along with this. Dr. Bose is on the right, and he was also a professor at MIT.
Okay.
And so he still was a teacher. So he would make sure that all of us got taughted. We had to make sure we studied. We learned a lot there. The gentleman in the middle is Roy Salgado. He's from Tampa. He ran a place here in Tampa called Tropical Music. It was the Muzak.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Muzak place right here in Tampa.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, two Tampa boys got together because Roy was kind of the godfather of Muzak nationwide.
Wow.
And we decided that they should be selling Bose, and how can I get involved, and how can we do this? Long story short, Roy was responsible, and I was responsible for him and I getting together and bringing up almost 200 Muzak people from around the country to Bose, and that day Dr. Bose and I presented to all the Muzak people from around the country.
That's a wild story.
And I had a Tampa guy involved in it,
Absolutely.
Roy Salgado.
That's how perfect.
So that was a cool thing. So I really have a fond memories of Bose, special place in my heart.
And an argument can be made that they absolutely have one of the best products on the market. I mean, what's that other? Because they do theater audio as well. Bose.
Yes.
I mean, Bose is in every major theater. But is it Klipsch?
Klipsch is out of Arkansas, yes.
And they're pretty good too. But
Yes.
I still think that when you hear a Bose product, and that Bose Wave, I'll be damned. When you heard it the first time, it took you back. It was like, that sound can't be coming out of that little box.
Right.
It's a funny thing about that product. People that buy that product take it upon themselves to be the salesperson.
They do.
Right.
Because the person that
Word of
comes to
mouth.
their house will go, "You got to hear this thing."
Come into my bedroom.
Yeah, you got to
Look
hear
at
it. Yeah,
It's on the
exactly. And
nightstand.
they're doing the demonstration, right? You go, all right, whatever.
We've got a caller. Do we have a caller waiting? We don't want to leave anybody out. Guys, do we have a caller? Oh, okay. Do we know who it is? All right, let's see who it is.
Mr. Williams.
Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Thank you for your patience. We just now looked down and noticed you were still on hold. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, my name is W.W.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Mr. Williams.
Come on.
Is this JT calling here?
W.W. You can call me W if you want to.
You can call me Ray, or you
shorter.
can call me Jay.
Well, I think I know who this is. Are you calling about that amplifier? Is that what you're calling about?
W. Williams.
But I seen that fella that's talking to you all tonight. I seen him. He used to be on that show Hawaiian Eye. Play Poncy Poncy. Let me tell you something. When he left that show, I never watched it again. I don't care if they got Connie Stevens, they got Donahue, whoever the hell it was. Like Poncy Ponce.
I knew
That's
that
very funny.
somehow or other, some way in this show, you'd get in here.
Well, I was going to send you all a nice email. Never showed the email address.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, that's a good point.
Thanks for the heads
Oh,
up.
Stevie, you're the IT guy. Give it to him real quick.
That
you know
is-
what? You
Oh, yeah,
do
now
do
you need
that.
to give it to me.
that.
Well, should we reveal who you really are?
Yes, it's W.W. Williams. You can get me at W.W. Williams. Art Williams, National Auto Supermarket.
1711 East Hillsborough Avenue. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that may not have figured it out by now, this is the one, the only Mr. Rodney Justo, who's calling in to give his good buddy the business as we expected that he might. Rodney, we love you, man. Thanks for calling.
Robin doing a beautiful job.
Yes.
Hey, Rod, you know, I should say this. This is I think, 45 years that we've been friends this year.
Wow.
Holy smoke.
Wow.
So actually, I wasn't born when I met you and became a friend with you.
I remember your embryonic stage.
Hey, when's Cuckoo going to be on stage next, Rod?
March 1st, Hard Rock.
March 1st.
Mark it
Okay,
down.
so Larry Cox, if you're out there still watching, and we know you are, mark that down. March the 1st, Hard Rock Cafe. It's open to the public. It's free, right? You're playing on that same stage?
Everybody needs to bring a $40 check
$40. $40. Apparently it's still the going rate.
per person.
Let's see if we can pack the house for you that night, Rod.
All right, guys, I'm enjoying the show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
you.
for calling, Rod.
How about your Bolita number?
39.
39 it
39,
is.
I think
Jack,
so.
just
Thanks for calling, Rod.
like Jack Benny. Thank you, Rod.
Yeah,
That's
39
it's taken.
You know,
I'm gonna
great,
give him
great.
He's the best.
38.
Yeah, he really,
we'll do
really
that.
is.
He's the best.
And we're going to have,
Good impersonation of W.W. Williams.
Well,
well,
Whoever
I
that
have
is.
triplet daughters, and when they were little, every day he would call and be a different character.
Wow, fun.
And it went on for a long time till my daughters got to be, a little bit older, and they would finally go, Dad, it's Elvis.
And
Because they knew it was Rodney calling again.
if he would have had one more W, he would have had a website.
yeah,
It would've been a web address.
www.williams.com, man. Oh, that's great.
I would encourage him.
The show is just going.
It's
You know,
almost gone.
I got to
Flown
review
by.
my notes to make sure we don't miss anything here because I want to be able to everything there.
And is there any one picture that you want to mention real quick, Robin? As well?
Yeah, we
That really
Well,
stands
you know
out.
what? Put a picture number 28 since Rodney Justo
Oh,
mentioned
there it is.
There you go.
And this was taken at the Hard Rock, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
There you go.
There's the band. And there's a cool thing about this band, Cuckoo Cuckoo.
Yes.
We do it because we want to do it. We love doing it. All of us have been pals for years and years and years.
Introduce the band.
That's Roy Garcia, one of the most incredible guitar players you ever hear play on the left-hand side. Friend of mine for 35 years. Of course, that's Roddy in the middle. He's holding up a guitar because he does a good job of holding it.
That's all he does, right?
Sometimes.
Mind.
That's Roger Stephen on drums. Roger's been around the Tampa area for years. An incredible drummer. We're so fortunate to have him. And that's Danny George on the right playing bass. Danny's another Tampa person that's been around for a long time. And of course, that's me on the end there trying to stay away from the middle of the stage. This band, the way we got together was we said, what can we do on Wednesday nights rather than play cards or go bowling or whatever? So Rodney and I said, why don't we get a couple guitars and let's play Beatles songs, just get around and play a little bit. And next thing I know, Roy's in the room with us. And then the three of us played for about 6 or 7 months. And then Danny showed up, and we had like 4 of us playing Beatles songs. And we must have gone through 900 drummers when we decided to get a drummer. And then Roger showed up and was just the perfect fit. So really, we played for over a year before we actually said, are we good enough to go out and play? Can we play someplace?
Boy, are you
Play.
ever. Boy, are you ever.
And we, thanks.
No,
And
come on, man.
You guys are
We
great.
love it. We spend a lot of time, like if we really were trying to get a label deal or we wanted to go on the road, all we want to do is be the best band we can be.
Yeah.
And we want to be true to the music we play. We don't deviate from 60s music. That's all we
No,
play.
it's great because we always sing along to all
It's-
the songs. It's
I
so
think
much fun.
I think it would be
Really.
safe to say that the event is joyous, man.
It
Because
is.
we're
Right.
looking at you guys from out here,
Oh,
watching
cool.
you guys, and we see it. You know what I mean? We see the energy. Roy's got a perpetual smile on his face. You're wiping sweat off of you because the minute you pick up your guitar, you start to sweat.
I look at it and start sweating.
Rodney's having the
He's
time
having a
of
ball,
his life,
yeah.
and it's just we can tell, and we have not been
We love it.
disappointed.
I'm
We've
glad.
seen
I'm
you
We
many
glad.
can feel
times.
it. We
So
really can.
I'm glad.
thank you for sharing. Listen, how many minutes we got left, guys? Just about 3. We don't want. Okay, we don't want to go over. We're going to go ahead and draw some numbers. We'll give away tonight.
2 or 1?
No, we'll go ahead and let's do 1 because we didn't have a lot of numbers. So we'll have 1 grand prize winner, and tonight's grand prize will be a bottle of Joe & Sons balsamic vinegar, or maybe help me out, or infused balsamic or olive oil, or infused balsamic vinegar. There you go.
And they're both delicious.
They're both amazing. So get on down there to see Andrea, and she will take care of you. All right, Rob.
Oh, I'm the drawer.
You are. The guest
You are
always
the
gets a
puller.
chance to get in there.
Nothing up my sleeve. Okay.
Closest to without going over. That's a nice number. I think we got close to that last week as well. That's 36, darling.
Oh, I think we know.
That would be, oh my.
Oh, wait.
Is it Larry? You sure?
Everybody else is over. Larry's the highest
36,
one.
you're right.
You know
Larry
what?
Cox?
As it will happen so many times on our show,
Well, he's not
it's
a
either a
first-time-
first-time
yeah,
caller,
friend.
first-time winner,
Yeah.
a dear friend, and tonight I think Larry's call was certainly a highlight, although
All right.
WWW Williams was
That
pretty
was-
good too, and Skipper let it off for us
And your
tonight.
buddy
So Larry,
pulled it. So there you go.
Beta Bay between McDill and Himes, right there on the north side of Beta Bay. Get over there, and we'll make sure to let them know to expect you. Get on down there when you can and pick up your free bottle of Joe & Sons olive oils. It's wonderful stuff. Rob, did you have fun tonight, man?
Did you?
Yeah,
yeah.
come on, man. I wanted
We
to
had a
go
good
on
time.
some more.
We
Yeah.
always have fun.
We were supposed to be
want
on
you
for
have
90
fun.
minutes tonight, but we couldn't get that extra 30. So show of hands at home, those of you that would like to see Robin come back and do another hour with us.
Yeah.
We have to bring him back because
have
he's
so
got
many more pictures,
too many more pictures
stories.
and so many more stories. March the 1st, mark your calendars. We want you to be there with us March the 1st. Got about a minute to go. A special shout out to anybody out there watching?
No, just to everyone that I grew up with in Tampa. I hope you had as much fun as I did growing up. It was a great place to live. I moved away by way of LA, Boston, and Seattle, and finally was able to get back here. I'm never leaving this area again. I am so proud to be from here and proud to be here. So thanks for having me on the show. It was a lot of fun.
Thank
And
you.
again, thanks for last week with Gene Morris. It's fantastic.
We'll bring you
and
back
what you
soon.
guys do is very important, so please keep doing it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rob.
Very nice to hear.
Well,
Thank you.
quick shot of the booth. If you can swing one of those cameras around there, young man. And in the meantime, I'll do what we do here. Quick shot of the booth there. Everybody in the booth waving. There's Damien. There's Audrey. Hey, guys. That's our booth. That's Technical
Thanks,
Director
guys.
Becky. On behalf of Tampa Steve, the 15-minute girl, Sally Nunez, our dear friend, Robin Sibucao, and, of course, Nick Nunez, who you can't see who's working that camera for us tonight. I'm Mario Nunez. We love you, Tampa.
We do.
Yes, we do.
See you next week. Salud and happy days.
Back when we were younger
Thank you.
and everything seemed new. We used to have a lot of fun, yes we did. No matter what we do. Sleepy days, long summer nights, going anywhere we please. With love that I could call my own, love that I've always known, the city that I call my home, a home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. I love her and she loves me. I remember Tampa, oh, she remembers me. She remembers me. I remember, yeah, yes I do. Oh, I remember, yeah, me and you. I'm a Tampa native, Tampa native, can't you see? I will share my story with you to preserve its history.
All right now, don't forget, Thursdays, 7 p.m. on TBCN, home of the Tampa Native Show.